Okay, so now we're going to get into our top 5 trade deadline targets, who we want that is at least somewhat realistic. Number 1, you know who it is. It's Taylor Hall. He's an elite forward. He's at an extremely low price for his talent level. He probably wants to come to Toronto, and the cherry on top is that you could probably get him in a deal with Allmark.
Yeah, absolutely. If we're looking at Taylor Hall, he is a difference maker. All these players that, or most of these players we talked about, all the ones on our top 5, they're going to make an impact on your team. Taylor Hall is a difference maker. He's a player that can grab a game by the horns and drag your team into like a win, or get you out of a rough stretch. Like, he is an absolute difference maker. Austin Matthews maybe not having the greatest game, John Tavares, William Nylander, any of those guys get hurt, Taylor Hall has that ability to step in and absolutely take over for the Leafs.
Yeah, he is far and away the number 1. If he gets traded for anything less than, like, if he gets that first rounder and a prospect package, that would be less than us giving up one of our top 4 guys, and we're not the team that does it. I will be very disappointed, to be honest. Now, number 2 is Alex Iafallo, aka Zach Hyman Light. The cost is about right. It's not going to require too much on the salary cap. We could be able to make that work. And he is just so versatile. He could fill a third line role. He could fill a second line role. He kind of gives you the insurance. If Galchenyuk doesn't work on the second line, you put him there, or maybe you just start him there to begin with.
Yeah, absolutely. Another player that can have a fantastic impact on the Toronto Maple Leafs. He can play on lines 1 through 3. Yeah, fantastic. Zach Hyman Light is just the perfect description for Iafallo.
Yeah, next on the list, the only reason he's this low is because the acquisition cost is probably a little bit higher, and it's a little less likely because of the fact that he's a restricted free agent after the year. That's Connor Garland. Like we said, he can put up the points. He's good with possession. He just he checks all the boxes for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think as a player, I like Connor Garland better than Iafallo. I just think he's just a little bit unrealistic. I have heard rumors about him being in maybe some trades, but I think Connor Garland would be a fantastic addition. I just think it comes at a bit higher of a price. That's why we kind of lean towards Iafallo.
And the next guy on that priority list has to be Troy Stecher. He's a pretty realistic candidate to acquire. I don't think he would cost much in terms of assets. His cap hit's very low for this year and next, and he could easily step into that number 7 defenseman role and could possibly even fill in the top 6.
Yeah, I really like acquiring Troy Stecher to play that number 6 defenseman with Travis Dermott on a pair. He's handling some more big minutes in Detroit right now. So moving him down, playing against lesser competition, I think you can really make him flourish and make him look a little bit more like he did in Vancouver. Going forward, yeah. And then you have Zach Bogosian as your 7th defenseman. If you need him in a series, he's there. He knows the Leaf systems, and he can just step right in. But yeah, Troy Stecher is a really, really nice pickup at $1.5 million for me.
Yeah, and like we said, wouldn't even have to be a demotion for Bogosian. You could just go in with a revolving door of defensemen for the last, month 2 of the year. And then it's good too, because if you sustain an injury and if you do that revolving door, then you kind of develop a bit of chemistry and you kind of see what would work in the case of certain guys getting injured. So it would be a good acquisition as long as the cost was low. Now, the last priority, and really we could probably put this number 1, because without this, it could all come crumbling down, and that is obviously a goal.
Yeah, the Leafs definitely need to address their goalie. I don't really foresee them going and getting themselves a new number 1 to replace Fred Anderson. I see them getting kind of a 1B or a backup type goalie. The Nets, Jack Campbell's to lose. Ride him. You just need a little bit of insurance in case he gets injured, or, if something happens in the playoffs and his play dips, you need someone that's going to step in and be able to at least get a job done for the Leafs. So the sole reason the Leafs aren't going to lose a playoff series is goaltending.
Yeah, for sure. And if you look at the teams that have won the cup, it's said over and over again, most teams that win the cup go through 2 goalies at some point. So to have that insurance thing, especially when you know that your guys have been injured this year, it just makes too much sense. And actually, since we started recording this podcast, I saw a note that's Elliot Friedman on a radio show in Buffalo said that the Leafs have inquired about Linus Allmark of Buffalo, which would be an excellent acquisition. We've speculated about it earlier in the podcast, and yeah, he would just really solidify that role. And it makes me kind of think that the Leafs may be planning an LTIR scheme with Anderson.
Yeah, I think the Leafs know they need to acquire a goaltender. I think they're trying to keep things under wraps. One, so that they can LTIR Fred, make sure that his injury is real, which it does seem it is. That doesn't seem like a fraud or anything. But also, too, if a team knows you're super desperate for something, they're going to jack that price up for you. So you kind of keep Fred in the mystery a little bit, keep teams guessing that, oh, maybe Fred is going to come back in a week or two or a month or whatever, and the Leafs don't need a goalie. They're just looking for a third. The prices come down a little bit, or at least don't skyrocket. So, yeah, I think there is a little bit of gamesmanship on the Leafs' part when it comes to that, but absolutely they need to address that situation.
Yeah, because like you said, if we go into a playoff series and Campbell gets injured and we're forced to go to Freddie or Hutchinson and one of those guys becomes a pumpkin, which is totally possible, it's just going to be such a shame. When you have a team this good, you cannot leave the most important position up to chance.